Whether you want to persuade a spouse or a loved one or a child or a parent, or you want to persuade people to take action and give you a credit card for the amazing service or product you have, selling and persuasion is a must. If not, you'll just obsess on the product, obsess on the details, obsess on the structure, and no money coming in, and you either got a business that fails or a business that causes you stress. Today, I want to talk about persuasion. And this morning, I got up super early, maybe way too early. I think I was up about 3:45 this morning. That was extra early. I don't usually get up that early. And this morning I laid out the agenda for you guys before I hit the gym, before I did my morning routine on persuasion. And I want to get to first kind of the big picture of it. I was looking at that later, but I want to talk about it now. So many people, I know some of you share that you're afraid to sell, or some people even think selling is bad. And I want to kind of set the frame of persuasion, because persuasion, sales, kind of the same thing. But today I'm going to get tactical. I'm going to show you how to break that fear and how to sell. So when we look at selling, if you have a negative association to selling, that just means that at one point in your life, somebody sold you something and maybe you were taken advantage of. Or you had a relative or parents that talked negative about selling because they had a bad experience. But I want you to look at selling in a different light, and persuasion in a different light. Is nothing in the world would happen without persuasion. I say this a lot, but was Martin Luther King a salesman? Absolutely. Was Mother Teresa a saleswoman? Absolutely. If they didn't know how to persuade people to take action, to persuade themselves, which I'm going to talk about first, nothing would have happened. It would have been a guy and a girl with a dream, but not actually getting anything done. So when I ask, and you guys can keep commenting here if you want, but pay attention, try to do both. We can do two things. Make sure you're just not doing anything else. Don't be doing social media or talking to anybody else. Let's focus here, because this is important. So let me just ask you, if you don't think you're good at selling or persuading, let me ask you, have you ever persuaded your husband or your wife to go the way you wanted to go? They wanted to go to Florida on a vacation. You wanted to go to Hawaii. And you're like, well, I see both. And with enthusiasm, with excitement, or however you did it, you persuaded them to go to the place you wanted to go on vacation, or persuaded to go have the kids go to the school you wanted to go, even if your husband or wife didn't know, or whatever, your significant other, or persuaded them to go to a certain restaurant, or whatever it is. Let me ask you this. Have you ever gone to a great movie? And you see a friend, you're like, oh my God, you have to go see this new movie. About 20 minutes in, you're like, your hair stands up. You can't believe it. Go see it. It's at this theater. If you've ever done anything like that, that's selling. That's persuading. That's a low level, but you are, and think about that. When I'm selling, when I'm persuading, what are you typically? Could I persuade you if you showed up today and I was like, hey everybody, I'm really glad you showed up to the Millionaire Success Habits. I think you should listen to me today. No, that's not. When you persuade, you're on fire, you're enthusiastic, you have lots of energy, you're really your best self. So I'm gonna go in I have a plan here today, but I really want you to open your mind up to knowing that whether you want to persuade a spouse or a loved one or a child or a parent, or you want to persuade people to take action and give you a credit card for the amazing service or product you have, selling and persuasion is a must. If not, you'll just obsess on the product, obsess on the details, obsess on the structure, and no money coming in, and you either got a business that fails or a business that causes you stress. So here we go. We're going to go down the bullets that I laid out for you at about 4 o'clock this morning. You ready? Okay, let's see. First, it all starts with a vision. Now, I'm not going to go really deep on vision today because I want to talk on persuasion. But the people who persuade the most know exactly where they want to go. So instead of me going deep on it, go back to the R factor question I always talk about. It's a year from now. It's the best year of your life. What does that look like? You're looking back. How much money are you making? What are your finances? Where do you want to go in your business, your career? Do you want to rise up through the ranks in your current company, start your own business, or scale the current business, or do a side hustle, do a business on the side? Don't know what that is for you. If you want to write it down, you can, but you need to know. So once you have your vision, here's what I want to tell you. So let's not go any deeper than that. You write down, what's the vision? What do I really want? Because this is the first thing. The first thing you have to do is know what the end goal is, because that's where your persuasiveness, that's where your sales and marketing, everything has got to funnel towards your end goal. What is it that you really want? Sometimes we're pushing for stuff to get through a temporary moment in time, but it's not really our vision, not really our end goal. So first thing about being persuasive, first two things is knowing where you want to go, knowing your vision, and knowing what the goal is. And then here's the biggest sales job you have to do in the entire world. You have to sell yourself on that every single day. You have to persuade yourself to go in the right direction, to say no to the things that don't serve you, say yes to the things that take you towards that vision and goal. When you sell yourself, you know what happens? You get enthusiasm. You get optimistic. You get persuasive. Let me ask you, have you ever sold anything, got anybody to do anything in your life, had somebody say yes, if you were kind of like I was doing before? Today, if I'm selling cars, you should try the blue one. We should try that restaurant. No, that doesn't work. It works when you're on fire, when you're courageous, when you're confident. And how you get that is knowing your clarity on where you want to go, and then selling yourself every day on that big dream, because the news is going to try to steal it from you. Friends are going to try to steal it from you. People who love you are going to try to steal it from you. Your work's going to try to steal. The rough day at the office, the rough day at your business, the rough day of sales online is going to try to steal it from you. So you got to wake up the next morning, know where you're going, and sell yourself on your bigger vision. Now, when you sell yourself, then you have the energy to give out to other people. You have the enthusiasm to give other people. And so here's what I want to share right now. How do you get this enthusiasm? How do you feel like this every single day? I'm not saying fake it. And there's not this manufactured way. I'm not saying to use it as a sales tactic. This is just who I am. But how do I get enthusiastic? It's because I know where I want to go. I feed my soul with the things that light me up, like your comments. When I see thousands, I've read tens of thousands of comments from my students that I'm changing their life. They're loving my books, loving my courses, loving what I train. I read that. It feeds my soul. It lights me up. You guys, Jill, you help bring this enthusiasm out. But again, I know where I'm going, right? I also, and this is going to get off a minute, but I want to get in here for a moment, is what can drag your enthusiasm down is when you're dragging your past like you got a boat dragging it across the desert. You're holding the anchor rope and you're dragging the boat. You're bringing your whole past with you. You're like, how could I do this new thing with all this? It's time to cut the rope. It's time to let the past go. Burn it. My mentor said, it's like you're in a house and everything on the walls is your past. And the house is on fire and you got a suitcase. Let it all burn. Just grab the stuff that serves you. Grab the stuff you learn from. Grab the things that empower you. Stuff them in the suitcase and let the past burn. There's not enough energy to focus on that and go to your new future and have the enthusiasm. So you let the past burn and you bring what you've done with you. First of all, that's a positive focus. You take that. Now you look towards the future on your new goals, your new vision, where you want to go. When you do that and you realize that, let me just back up for a minute. Enthusiasm and authenticity will outweigh being over-prepared and over-studied and perfect on camera or perfect on writing or perfect on a YouTube video or perfect when you do the job, when you talk to your boss. I just want to say that again. Enthusiasm and authenticity outweighs everything. I look back at my career, guys, I didn't go past high school. I don't have a great vocabulary. I know that I don't. I don't use monster words. I don't articulate super well. I use amazing, awesome, fantastic. I use those words a lot. I know that I do. So I talked about nothing happens without selling. Selling's not evil. Love what you are offering, no matter what that is. Fine. And if you don't love it to that nth degree, then fix it. Fix it. Now, here's where we flop a little bit. Here's where I want to really give you some insights that you might have read in my book, but now this is coming directly from me. It's one of the secrets to persuasion, and that is letting people feel understood, not just having them understand you. Did you guys read that in the book? Probably got it. Maybe some of you went right by it. Some of you got it and like, wow. That's not just that sounds pretty good. That's everything. I watched it for years. I watch people come up on stage and somebody's got experience. They've written books. They're a guru or something like that. And they get on stage and they share it with everybody how much they've accomplished and what they've done and what you could do. And that person usually gets off stage with a nice applause and they say, that's a great guy. That's an awesome girl, man. She accomplished a lot. Really cool. And then there's someone else who would go on stage and they just talk. And you watch the audience's mannerisms are different. They're connected. They're like, oh, wow. And when they're done, it's not just they were good. It's like, wow, I can be better. I can do more. It's because that person made you feel understood. They didn't just say, understand me. So the difference is kind of like the guy up on the hill or the girl up on the hill that's made it and say, come on up, it's great up here. You guys, you'll feel better once you're here. That's great, and you'd be inspired by the person on the hill. Or the person that gets down in the ditch with you and go, man, I live up there, but hey, I'm here with you. Let's get out of this ditch. Let's get up that hill. I'll help you. Let me give you a push. That's the difference between the two. Let me ask you something. You want to go get a new car. Say, Mark, you're going to get a new car. And you get to the lot and you pull in. Best dealer, he's been there for 25 years, comes up to you. He says, hey, how you doing? I just want to let you know, I've been here for 25 years. I know these cars inside and out. Best cars on the planet. The new technology, through the roof. Through the roof, the new technology. You know what I think? I think a the new two-door Sport's got the wide wheels, super fast, good gas mileage, but fast, would fit you perfect. In fact, and he goes on and on and on. That person's still good. They've been there for 25 years. But what is that person doing? He wants to just be understood. I'm the guy. Been doing it. Great car. You need it, Mark. Now, he doesn't know anything about Mark. What if someone new came up, doesn't have the experience, and just simply walked up to you and said, hey, how you doing? What's your name? Mark? I'm Bob. How you doing? You looking for a car? Yeah. Let me ask you, do you have a family? How many kids? Oh, is your wife, is this for you or is it the family car? Hey, do you care about gas or do you care about just luxury? And all of a sudden he's asking and letting you talk. And all of a sudden, Mark, you tell him, I don't know your life story, Mark, but if you have kids or you don't, or you're married or you're not, or you like sports cars or you like SUVs, that second salesman is letting you feel understood to share, gas mileage, I don't really care. What I want is something big enough. We have 3 kids and we're always got the friends and we got the baseball gear in the back and I want this and I want that. And when he gets done, he goes, wow, I really understand, Mark. And if I think of all the vehicles we have, I think it'd be this model because the gas mileage is decent. It's a gorgeous looking vehicle. It could fit your whole family. Your wife would love it. And today we can do something pretty special on that one. All of a sudden, bam, that's the guy. That's an art of persuasion that most people don't get. People go into the conference room. They get well prepared. Like, I got all my notes. I got everything I need. And they go in and say, it's time. It's like hitting the buzzer. And you're like, okay, this is what we have. This is what we're going to do. And I can do this and I can do that. And I've been doing it forever. And I'm the best. And I can do this. And it's not even self-loathing. It's not like you're self, like flattering yourself or patting yourself on the back, I should say. It's just that you want to get out all the things you can do. I can raise the income for the company. I can do this, or I deserve that position. And really, if you want to go in and close the deal, go in and listen and find out what people's fears are, what their desires are, what they think a win would be in a year from now. I go into meetings, I know for a fact people when I'm first in there like, I thought this guy was smart. He hasn't said a word. It's because I used to go in and say, look at me, I'm accomplishing all this in my 20s. I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. And I'd close a lot of the deals. Now I go in and keep my mouth shut. And when I speak, I close every deal. I don't walk out of a boardroom of either walking away from the deal because I want to or closing it. And in most cases, I just go in and I listen. I watch everybody talk, what they got, what they want. And then I'll just do some clarity questions and just say, hey guys, I'm a little confused. If this was the best year of our lives because we worked together, it's a year later, we're back here celebrating, and it was a great year. What does that look like in each one of your eyes? What are you afraid of? What do you hope to accomplish? And all of a sudden you start hearing their fears, their worries. And you're letting them feel understood. And then you take a moment, you go deeper on that, you look through their glasses. I mean, look at here in the United States. It's so terrible. We got the left and the right because of the new president. It's like this craziness. And if people would just take 5 minutes, I'm not saying either one is right or wrong. What I'm saying is when people could take 5 minutes and just wear the glasses of the other person and see how there's a place in the middle to allow the other person at least to feel understood, not to change your values, not to change your core beliefs, but just to allow the other person to feel understood. If we can make everybody else feel understood without even agreeing with them, We can make this world a better place, but we start with making the world a better place by you getting your message, your business, your new side hack, or your new side hustle, your relationships, your rising up through the ranks, getting the promotion you deserve. If you will let people feel understood, it's a game changer. Again, I know I wrote about this in my book, some of this, but what happens when you want to get a promotion? I watch people, they'll try to prove how great they are, and they should. Work hard. You want to get the promotion. But you really want to get the promotion? Let the person who makes that decision feel understood. Feel their pain, feel their stress, feel their goals. You help support that, you'll go up as fast as you could ever imagine. And it's so simple. And the other thing to remember, this is something I tell myself all the time. I'm reading all your comments, guys. Thank you for all the comments. I appreciate it. Think about this, too. So many times we get engulfed in our story. So we know what we're thinking, what we want, and we might not be where our prospects are. If you're starting a business, your prospects, the people that might be your clients someday, or maybe where you used to be. You solved this problem, and now you want to help people. Or a spouse, or anywhere, any relationship you could think of. And we'll talk a lot of times on the conversation in our head. And I want you to think about finishing the sentences that are going on in other people's minds. Enter conversations going on in their head, not ours. Think about that. I know, as subtle as that sounds, I hope you're really grasping that, because we've evolved to a place where people don't even listen anymore. They're just waiting for you to shut up so they can talk. You want to make a difference? You want someone to listen? You want someone to hear you? Enter a conversation they're having. Finish their sentences. I'm not talking about faking it, but live in their moments. For me, I've been blessed to have a great deal of success, but I know so many of you are thinking about a new business, thinking about real estate, thinking about another side, hustle business that you want to do, or just wondering, should I stay in my job? I know what that feels like, but here's the thing. When I talk to you, when I'm here right now, what I'm doing, what I'm picturing is all of you. Those of you who have a great business with success and want to go that next level and scale, these strategies work. Those of you scared, not knowing where to start, these strategies work. I want to enter the conversation that's going on in your head. I want you to feel understood when I talk to you, because I've been blessed to generate millions of dollars and fly all over the world and meet great people. My conversations are different that are going on in here of where I want to take my business, my company, what legacy I want to leave for my kids, the dad I want to be. I don't want to come in here and talk about the millions I've made and how I'm mass producing my marketing and I have 2 CFOs and 3 assistants. That wouldn't be a conversation that would fit. When I'm here right now, I'm living in the moment of how it felt for me when I felt insecure, when I felt lonely, when I felt I wasn't going to get ahead, when I felt I wasn't tapping into my full potential, when I felt life was going to pass me by, when I felt like I wasn't getting what I deserve, I wasn't utilizing my talents. I know those feelings. They still live inside of me, and I tap into that. So I want to enter conversations you're having. At every single level. And that's the same thing we need to do in any area of your life you want to persuade. Once you sell yourself, our job is to persuade others in an ethical way. Listen, if you're selling drugs, if you're pushing gambling, if you're pushing cigarettes or stuff that hurts people, then selling's bad. But without persuasion, people don't take action. The reason you might have an iPhone, the reason you have a laptop or the certain car you have, all of it is because of selling. And when you tap into it, that's where the biggest jump in your business and your life go to. Authenticity, enthusiasm, and persuasion. I don't know, I think I'd argue and add in marketing. I think I'd argue that it is by far the biggest secrets to success. We get confused and overwhelmed with all the different delivery systems. And if I start a business, do I go on Facebook and YouTube or do Twitter, or do I do Instagram, or do I just start a brick and mortar business, or do I work from home? Like, we think of all those pieces and we get overwhelmed when really it boils down to some of the things that we're talking about right here, right today. That's where it starts. What's up? What's up? Hey, before you go, you need to watch these next few videos. They're absolute game changers. Hurry up and click right over here and watch them, and I'll see you there.